In today's video, we are reviewing the absolutely beautiful, both inside and out, naturally aspirated V8 from Lexus, the 2024 LC500 convertible, as you can see. Now this car is updated for 2024 and it's absolutely gorgeous. So let's go over all these changes and what makes this car so unique. Let's dive in. Starting off in the front of this absolutely gorgeous LC500, man, I just really love the looks. But with the headlights, you can see that you do have tri-beam headlights, and there's even a little bit of stylization in there. So that's pretty cool. But below that, you've got working vents. Love to see that. A nice long checkmark style diffuser that runs into the tri-beam headlights. Love it. It just looks fantastic. And then the classic large Lexus grille with the Lexus emblem in there. You got your front-facing camera here, and this is all functional. Everything about it is functional. All these vents and the grille, airway everywhere. But look at the body lines. You can see the lines just starting off right at the front. Man, it just looks mean. It looks gorgeous. It's phenomenal. This car is an eye catcher all the way through. The wheels look absolutely great. You've got the Lexus emblem in the center there, and then you've got some contrasting silver with the piano black. Overall, the wheels look absolutely fantastic. And of course, I love the large Lexus caliper that you have in there. And again, when you're getting towards the back, it gets a little bit wider. This car has some hips on it. She's sexy, she's mean. But they start off in the front here and run all the way through the back. Looks fantastic. What else looks fantastic though is these side view mirrors. I know you can see it from there. We've got the paint to match at the bottom. We've got silver, turn indicator, and then black at the top. Overall, they look phenomenal, and you've even got a camera on the bottom, of course. Moving on a little bit further past that, you do have your door handles. They are flush with the body when the car is locked, but we can go ahead and push them out and they reveal a very nifty and cool Lexus emblem there, and then they just pull out. Fantastic, love it. And then, like I mentioned, all the vents on this are completely functional. So below here on the skirt, you do have another vent. Fantastic. Now the rear wheels are 21 inches as well, and this is rear wheel drive, which we'll talk more about later, but the rear wheels are actually just a smidge wider. And again, now we're back at those hips. They stick out, they look fantastic. I love a girl with some hips. Moving along to the back of the LC500, you'll notice one thing that you would think that you would have on a performance convertible would be a spoiler. We don't have a spoiler, but we do have a nice little lip that comes up a little bit. Again, I just love the lines on this LC. Looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, the prior ones have looked great too, but this takes the cake. When it comes to collector cars, this will be the one. And for other reasons as well. But you've got the very nice infinity mirror style taillights. You can't beat them. They look absolutely phenomenal. But Lexus logo in the center, LC500 there. Down towards the bottom, we do have our 4 exhaust tips, and they are stylized with the rear diffuser as well. But man, they just look really good. I love the stylization on this all the way through. Looks absolutely phenomenal. Now, for the trunk itself, you can open up the trunk with our handy dandy remote, or we've got a little button right here that blends in. You can barely see it, and that pops our trunk. You can fit about 2 carry-ons in here. That's about it. Of course, your rear seats don't fold flat, but you do get a road kit and then a first aid kit, and then underneath here is your battery. So you're not putting anything down there. Don't try, you'll regret it. Now, as we're moving back up towards the front, of course I want to show you this. You've got the Lexus logo on the back of the seat. Looks fantastic. That way when everybody sees your taillights, they also see the back of your head and your Lexus logo. Now this is where the magic is really going to start to happen. Like I said, it's beautiful on the outside, but it's even more beautiful on the inside. Now this is a bespoke build, which means that you can actually go online, and when you order it, you can customize it to be the different colors that you want and everything. But man, I would take this interior any day of the week. It's absolutely gorgeous. The royal blue with the creamy white, the contrast, it's just absolutely phenomenal. And these door handles, it's like they're just floating there. Like, They just look absolutely amazing with this platinum chrome style here, and it is metal, so love that. It's incredibly nice. But very typical operations on your door panel here. One-touch operation for both windows. You know, you got your window lock, unlock lock, and then your side view mirror controls, as well as 3 memory seat functions. That way you've got your setup, your wife has hers, and then when you decide to let your teenager hop in and take the date to prom, he's got a setting too. Now these seats are really something special. I love how they look, absolutely, and they're incredibly comfortable. But you've almost got like the spider web style stitching on it. The contrast with the royal blue and the white just looks really, really good. But aside from that, you've also got, you know, these seat belt holders, but it's just a magnetic latch. I don't know, I think that's really nifty. Haven't seen it before, and it looks fantastic. Now on the door sill, you also have carbon fiber Lexus. I mean, can't have performance and luxury without some carbon fiber, right? Now, of course, because this is a Lexus, it does have 8-way powered seating controls, so that's great. Tons of customization for you, love that. But let's hop in and see what else is going on in here. Now, the steering wheel itself is nothing but magnificent. It's absolutely comfortable, very nice to hold. It's got different textures on it, and it just looks fantastic in the royal blue. You've also got some metal paddle shifters. Great, and I love that they're metal. They're a little bit cool to the touch, and they just scream luxury. But the steering wheel itself, we got a little toot-toot, of course, and then on the left-hand side, we've got our multimedia controls. On the right-hand side, we've got our driver safety functions. Now, there is one interesting thing. Maybe Uncle Steve can get a little bit closer with the camera, because this button here actually moves your digital gauge cluster. So this part here is not digital. That is a mechanical ring. And when we hit it, it actually moves over. And then if I didn't have the door open, you've got different menu options and such that you can see over there. But then you just hit it and it moves back over. I think that's really nifty. Originally, we saw that in a higher end Lexus car, but it started to trickle down into other models. And why shouldn't this have that too? But to the left of the steering wheel, we do have our trunk release button, the button to turn our heads up display on or off. We can fill her up when we need more gas, because you will need it in this beast. And then we've got our brightness for our digital gauge cluster, our odometer and trip button. And then up here, we've got our traction control in snow mode. I don't know why you would be driving this in the snow, but if you have to, you got it. And then behind our steering wheels, of course, we have our light and turn signal controls. And then on the right-hand side, we've got our windshield wiper stalk. And now also on the right-hand side, you've got this little thing jutting out like on the left-hand side. This is for your mode selector. So when you turn it up or down, the digital gauge cluster actually changes how it looks. And what I think is kind of neat, when you go into eco mode, it changes the engine temperature dial to an eco dial. That's nifty, but we stay in Sport Plus because we want the beast. Now, for our center console in the LC500, it does pull some things over from other Lexuses, of course, but there's one thing you'll notice that this doesn't have that everybody is going to be ecstatic it doesn't have, because it's basically the worst thing to ever be introduced in the automobile industry, and that was the trackpad. Now, we still have it in the IS500, but the LC500 does not have it. We actually have a touchscreen, so you get some more space for other things, which is great. Now, starting off with our gear selector, of course, they're still going with that style that they stole from the Prius. I'm not a big fan, but it gets the job done nonetheless. So you got your gear selector here, and again, more of that platinum chrome that just looks really good. You see it all over the place here. I love it. But you got your brake hold button, a very nice like titanium feeling volume knob, your track seat, your tune, your 360 camera, and then one thing that's a little bit interesting, I'm very used to heated seats just being a button or a switch somewhere on here, but actually what you do is you hit this heated seat button and then it pops up on here, and that's where you've got your heated and ventilated seats. But it has them nonetheless, and it works. At least you're not fumbling through menus trying to find it or anything like that. Now, up above all of this, we do have a cup holder, so that's cool. We do actually have 2 cup holders in the LC500, which is fantastic. Now, this little compartment here is how we drop the top down for when we got the ladies in the car. And then you can open it up here, and you've got a center console where you have a Type A port, a Type C port, and a 12-volt outlet in your cigarette jack style. So That works great. Now, like I mentioned, this is a bespoke build, which means that when you are ordering one, you can customize it to be different colors and everything like that, but you have a Lexus LC bespoke build here. And also, we have a 12-speaker Mark Levinson sound system. And man, these Mark Levinson systems sound really good. But we do have physical controls for our heating and air. Love to see that. A 12.3-inch infotainment center. And like I mentioned, it is touchscreen. We can touch it. You're not stuck with the trackpad. And it's also the latest Lexus software. It's very snappy. It has everything you need. Wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay. Absolutely fantastic. Your hazards button, in case you need it, hopefully you don't. When you go up a little bit higher, we have our rear view mirror, which is bevel-less, because what's luxury with bevels? But it does have 3 home link buttons and a dimming feature, so that's great, love it. And then even up higher above that, we've got our touch controlled dome lights, door operation, SOS button, you name it. Nothing too crazy going on in our sun visors. You do get a little mirror though to make sure you're looking good before you go into the restaurant. And that about wraps it up over here. And like I said, luxury. Luxury absolutely everywhere. You don't want to put your dirty hands all over this nice white creamy leather. So what you have is you've got your glove box button actually right here, and it makes not a sound. Just listen. You don't hear anything. It just happens. Love it. Now, even the back seats look gorgeous in this, but they don't look very practical at all for just about anybody. I'm not even gonna do Uncle Steve the disservice of trying to get back there. I'm a little bit smaller than him, so I'll go ahead and try to hop back there. You do have a nice lever. You pull it up, the seat automatically does its thing. And then when you hop back here, pretty high up. Definitely if the roof is down, I'm not going to fit, and I'm not gonna really fit anyways. I think it's just, it has rear seats for children. It's not really for Josh or Uncle Steve. So you can close the door with me back here, but I really don't want to be back here a long time. I will say the back seats are very comfortable. They're very plush. They feel great. It's just made for people that are 4 feet tall. And then when I want to get out, I just hit this, push it forward, and the seat does its thing, so that I can exit the vehicle. Now, another thing that I do love about this convertible, you know, we're all used to those convertibles where you got latches to flip or they take a long time. You have to remove pieces, put them back on, but not in this bad boy. You just hop in, hold the switch, and it takes about 16 seconds to close the top. It takes about 15 seconds to open it. Another great thing that you can actually do is you can both drop the top and put the top up when you're driving. So up to 31 miles per hour, and you can do that. And see, we're done. All right, now we're behind the wheel of the 2024 LC500, and it drives like luxury. It feels so nice to drive. The steering handling is just absolutely fantastic. The throttle is incredibly responsive, and when you get on that throttle, it just sounds amazing. The naturally aspirated V8 holds no bars. It is just absolutely magnificent. So aside from initial driving impressions, such as, you know, the steering and whatnot, the seat itself is extremely comfortable. I feel like I'm at my lazy boy at home. Like, I could just take a nap in this. It's so comfortable. It grips your body just right. It's super plush. It's just a joy to be in. Now, visibility, of course, this is a coupe, so you don't have the top of the line visibility, but you can see out the front fantastically. You've got very large windows for both the driver and the passenger, so you can see out those fantastically. And then all you really have, because you cannot see out the little quarter windows, of course, but the rear view window itself, also not bad at all. But it is nimble. You know, it's a little bit more of a touring performance vehicle, I would say, though. It's not going to be the fastest in its class on the street or anything like that, but it will make the drive absolutely pleasurable. The brakes are also quite nice, and you know, Lexus really did everybody a favor too by making sure this is a rear wheel drive. You know, typically you would think that they'd probably make it a front wheel drive, but no. They went how it should be, and they made it a rear wheel drive. One thing that I will note that is a little odd, there is a heads-up display on here, like we mentioned, but actually I can't see it unless I kind of like duck my head down a little bit. and I don't have the seat raised at all. So I'm not that tall. Uncle Steve towers over me, so that's a little strange. But outside of that, it is nice to have one. And also, it's not often you can see them with polarized glasses on, but I can. All right, since we are in a performance coupe, let's go ahead and test our 0 to 60 in this bad boy. We've got it in sport mode. So let's see how she does. It's rated for about 4.6, but let's see. 2.57 for the 30 and 5.59 for the 60. But we do have Uncle Steve in the car with us. You know, when he's towering out here at 7'8", I can only imagine what he weighs. So he's slowing us down just a little bit. But did you get to hear those ponies? Because they sound absolutely amazing. Steve made a comment earlier, actually. He thinks that this sounds more like an American muscle car, and I would have to agree. Let us know what you think in the comments, or is it more of a Japanese muscle car? Now, outside of the general things that we've already mentioned, you know, this is loaded with safety features. So you have your lane assist, you've got your parking sensors, you know, everything that you could possibly want is in here. And one thing that I do have that's a little bit of a gripe, but at the same time, doesn't really matter because this is a coupe convertible, and what do you expect? But if you have a lot of loose items, there's not really anywhere to put them. You've got the center console, it's not that big, and then you've got your little door pockets, not that big. But you're going out for a ride on the town, maybe to dinner or something like that, you're not going to be lugging a bunch of crap with you. Most people are not buying this as their only car. I want to learn more about the powertrain, and of course I want to know what Uncle Steve thinks about this LC500 and how he likes it, or maybe he'll hate it. So let's get him in the driver's seat so he can tell us all about it.
All right, it's Uncle Steve behind the wheel. Let's talk about the powertrain. Well, they only have one option. It's a V8 5-liter natural aspirated, no turbo, no supercharger. Same engine as the IS500. It produced 471 horsepower and 398 foot-pound of torque. For the transmission, is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Manual is not even an option.
But I will say, that 10-speed automatic transmission shifts like butter.
0 to 60 is 4.4 seconds.
Allegedly.
With my fat ass is 5.4, 5.5. Still good, because I weigh like 500 pounds.
That's what happens when you're 7'9".
Lexus offers 3 different models. We have the coupe, we have the convertible, and we also have the hybrid. The hybrid is 3.5-liter V6 with 2 electric motors. However, it's not a 4-wheel drive, it's not all-wheel drive. It is a rear-wheel drive, same as this one. They only offer a rear-wheel drive LC500. The horsepower for the hybrid one, V6, is 354 horsepower. And the fuel economy for that is 26 miles per gallon combined. 0 to 60 actually is not far from this. It's only 4.7 seconds. And for the pricing, I have to ask Josh, because he's the one who's paying for it.
Yep, I'm buying all these cars we review. But like Steve mentioned, there is 3 different options. You have the coupe, the convertible, and the hybrid. So the entry model, the LC500 coupe, which is basically the same as this without the convertible, that one comes in at $100,000, $425. So you're looking at 6 digits for this bad boy. The hybrid coupe comes in at $103,000, $575. Now the convertible, which we're driving today, depending on what options you pick and how you choose to build it, this bad boy is starting at $107,000.
Well, let's talk about the drive. The drive is fantastic. Some people may consider it noisy, but actually sounds pretty good. Like, I love it. It's so much better than the IS500. I would think it's better than the Mustang. Somehow I feel the Mustang doesn't have this American V8 sounds compared to like Camaro or like even the Jeep, the 392.
So after this video, you'll get another video of me and Steve fighting, because those are fighting words.
Well, handling is nice. If you change to a sport mode, the steering wheel actually feel like a lot tighter. If you put an eco, it feel like pretty much like for grandpa or grandma. So yeah, when you change the mode, it changes the suspension, also the steering wheel too. The brake is fantastic. Well, of course, right? They have the 6-port calipers and the big ass disc. Besides that, everything it's so nice. The color, it's actually the first time I see this color combination in a vehicle. Have you seen it before?
I have not, and I absolutely love it. I'm not gonna lie.
This is a new color of like luxury.
Yeah. I love how it looks, inside and out. I mean, you know, looks can be very subjective, so maybe it's not for everybody. Maybe they want a different color. But me personally, I think this looks absolutely gorgeous.
Well, for Uncle Steve's story time today, I'm not gonna ask Josh question again. I'm just talk about convertible, since we are driving a convertible. Josh, do you notice that for the last 10 years, you don't see a lot of convertible on the street?
Yeah, and it makes me angry.
It does. I know back then in the 2000 or even 90s, it's always see convertible. Like the convertible Mustang is so popular, Camaros.
Yep.
You know, Trans Am, I don't know, you still remember?
I remember.
Yeah, so all those convertible is really good. Like even the Miata, you see a lot of Miata. Nowadays, you just don't see, you see a lot of SUV and truck nowadays. Even you see a convertible, probably it's a hot top convertible.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I think people just move to like different interests, like off-road, stock and popular, you know?
Yeah. That also makes sense.
Yeah.
I would think it's a little bit more of like maybe people are concerned about the issues that can potentially come with a convertible, right? Like getting a rip or leaks, you know.
Safety reason too, you know.
Yeah. So, but I agree with what you're saying too. It's because other styles just have become more popular.
Or people start making baby younger, you know, so they find out the convertible is not practical.
Yeah, more babies means less convertibles.
Yeah.
But good observation, though, for sure. In conclusion, I think that it's pretty clear that Steve and I are on the same page when it comes to the LC500 in 2024. It is an absolutely gorgeous car. Every time you see one on the street, it is going to turn your head. And every time you get in one, you are going to be wowed. I think that if you're in the market for a luxury performance convertible, there's nothing that beats it. That's my opinion, but maybe you'll have a different opinion. Now, in its class, are there better options? Potentially, yeah. You can look at BMW and Mercedes and you'll get faster cars and things like that, but this one is just done so magnificently. I absolutely love it. If I could, I would go put one in my driveway today.
Especially the reliability, right?
Yeah, reliability. Can't beat it. But you guys will have to let us know in the comments if you think it's worth that hefty price tag. You know, we're talking just starting out $7,000 over 6 digits. So it costs some money, but it is pure bliss and pure luxury. So let us know in the comments what you think. Smash the likes, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next video.